Thanks so much, Aaron. That's a really kind introduction, and I'm very, very happy to be published with your good self and Broken Sleep as well. It's yeah, you've been on my radar and my sonar for a long time, and I'm very happy to be published by you. I've got my driving test in a few weeks' time, and I've just turned 40, so I have definitely left it pretty late. And I also wish I had done it a bit earlier, but had no interest. So let that be a lesson to anyone who at the moment doesn't have any interest in driving, but then you will, and then don't leave it too late. Yeah, so this is The Nakedness of the Fathers. Amazing cover. I've learned a lot about submarines on this journey, and that comes in quite a bit into the collection. So the first poem I'm going to read to you has got an epigraph. A lot of my poems do kind of play with religious imagery and biblical imagery. In another life, I've got a PhD in biblical hermeneutics, and I also trained as a minister, an Anglican minister back in the day. So yes, we've all got pasts. So this one is called The Nakedness of the Fathers, with that epigraph from Genesis. And Noah planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered within his tent. A man cries for his mother in the dark, a prophet shaping God with his mouth. What profit is there in God's full mouth? Noah was left hot and dry with his vines, those sweet planted vines. My father left hot and uncovered, the sheets a strangled mess. What did you uncover? A strangled mess of beasts, whole peoples lost to water, people face down in water, drowned beasts, your endless horror. Now your nakedness is endless, a naked horror. I strain to help you get back to bed, the tent of sleep collapsed around your bed. I'm helpless. My father cries for his mother in the dark. And that duplex form is borrowed from Jericho Brown. He made up the duplex form. It's a brilliant one to kind of play with those constraints. This one's for Aaron. A lesson in submarine safety at the Naval Museum. This dry dock for men who go under, submariners, pale as ship's biscuits, fond of being swallowed whole. Inside, I skip through the pressure doors and you bang your big old head like a bell. We follow the tour guide around conventional weaponry, stroke the smooth torpedo tubes, glue our eyes to the blind periscope. Dad, you're not yet taken brassy with the drink's metallic tang, and I'm all ears at how to escape from a stricken sub in the airless dark, the lungs that drag men back to the surface. And perhaps following on from that previous poem, sauna. When I saw you in the showers, naked, sack pocked like ostrich leather, cock a swinging clock, wait, I thought of liveliness undimmed. Our Father who art bald and red-faced, sweating out the day's inconsistencies and humiliations in this chorus of wonky bodies, you worship in the heat with us, scars whitened, pain knocking at every joint, but there, still the slow crank of blood in swollen veins and life's thin sweat, beading and being allowed to run. And this next poem is perhaps a continuation of the themes. Yeah, throughout the collection, I'm kind of exploring different ideas of masculinity, religion, how those coalesce and coagulate, I suppose, a bit as well. But this one is about my granddad, who was also a minister. Farm boy. We rattle through the lanes in his ancient Austin metro, footwells filled with welly boots and dried mud, clutches of sparrows bouncing around the deep hedges. We pull off-road into gateways, warm dens of hawthorn, and with a wink, he tightens his dog collar, disappears into a field, then returns with cauliflowers, cradled, baptismal under his arm, or broccoli blooms green as heaven. The Lord giveth, and I taketh away, he laughs. One farmer gives us a brace of rabbits, still warm, legs lashed with pink baler twine, and I hold them like newborns in my lap, soft as gloves. His theology is rich stews and a full belly before the Lord, Bible verses broadcast like seed cake on dry ground. I love him without understanding. In the evening, he holds me close and his prayers buzz sweetly in my ear. My pillow is a honeyed God. A Stoic philosopher now. Yes, and thinking about the Stoic philosopher Heraclitus, who had some interesting ideas, mainly that fire was the element that created the world and that was constantly in flux. And it feels very much that we're there again. Heraclitus rakes leaves and talks with his daughter. You can't see change coming, but I know this world is as it always was, a flux of ever-living fire. The proof is in this season. Observe how this tree draws its own body back into a heartwood stove, kindling color and blaze without heat. Everything comes from fire and will return to fire. These horse chestnut leaves close like little red fists. They change form, but not substance. That robin that hops towards your fireproof boots, its breast is a candle of its own essence. Fire is the root of all elements. Regard this pile of beech leaves. It is a fire stack I can lift between my hot palms, an equilibrium of weight, matter, and potential. In the garden bin, it will melt like chocolate, slow and rich. We should all be such sweet soil, smouldering under winter's quietude. There is nothing to fear in this warm dissolve. The soul is a match head and is not consumed. Here, put this old rake back on the hook, and together we'll listen to the trees sizzle in the evening's damp snub. This one, yes, I think in the pamphlet itself, I think it was one of those ones that I sent to Aaron, and just to test his typesetting skills. And it's very much a concrete poem, as it were. So that's how it looks in the pamphlet. You have to flip the pamphlet, and it's supposed to represent the. There's an amazing installation which I was lucky enough to see in a museum art gallery in Tasmania, but it's been all around the world. It's called 2050 by Richard Wilson, where he pours old engine oil into whatever room he's given by the art gallery, and it takes on the form of that room, and it's incredibly addictive. It's an amazing thing to see all of this old engine oil, and it stinks, and I just wanted to leap into it. It draws you in. So this poem is called Sump. Gorgeous mirror of metallic scent, silky and fathomless. New cookware, sumptuous treacle skin, poured into the not so easy architectures of where. Do not touch such pure waist height darkness, absolutely indelible. What weight can this bear? As crude as pure resource, engine heartwork and pump. A perfect hydrophobic lake, stilled and unruffled in its own shadowless suck of light. The thickest lipophilia and more addictive. Too easy. All my petrochemicals want to rip open their bonded seams to join with it. That fish mouth tug of everything plastic wanting to dive back into once salty bodies. The compression of all we have built, lost to this finest of horizons and thinnest of lines, overwritten, always natural, always industrial, all barreled, surface and slick. So two kingdoms. Yeah, this suddenly feels a bit more prescient on the border. Yeah, written or thought about on the border between Estonia and Russia. And it kind of jumps off of Susan Sontag and her long essay book called Illness as Metaphor, and this kind of famous quote from that book: "Everyone who is born holds dual citizenship in the kingdom of the well and in the kingdom of the sick." Two kingdoms. It's the flickering buzz of the fluorescent light bulb as fugged lays, the haze of thought tipped out of its sling. Too early to tell. The border station at the river bulge between Narva and Ivangorod, the Russian side's fouling toilets, and the queue where we wait inside ourselves, together and time limited. Did I pack my own bags? They sit in the belly of the overnight bus. Who knows what small treasures life has placed in my body's dark pockets? I doubt my messy bowel and guts, elemental spleen, pancreas, the testicles' implosion, a breast's full absence, then full presence. I compose myself carefully. Where will I stay? A small hotel in St. Petersburg. Each intrusion pretends the form of the question, why are you here? Carelessly, he stamps both passports. The two kingdoms draw fuzzy edges of forest, marsh, wetlands full of bulrush and sludge. This river like a thumping artery blocked by industry's productive leverage, a guest border, an invention. I don't know what I carry over. Kitchen Gospel. So yeah, this one is in debt to Clarice Lispector and the Passion According to GH, and yeah, the cockroach, the much maligned cockroach. Kitchen Gospel. This harbour of warm milk and teacups, a table I don't leave. I boil eggs, 7 minutes exactly, then dunk in ice water. Shell-shocked yolks, rich potential. My eyes are filmy albumen, so I keep it dark. It is wild under the dishwasher, unexplained coffee ooze, skin flakes, compostable beginnings. The click of a cockroach articulating, made flesh. Nocturnal, it carries the gospel to all the distant churches. Its mesothorax, the Lord's armor-plated victory. It sings, and I pray that hope is the thing with hind legs, microbial, nervy guts, and useless wings, a fruiting abyss. Sometimes hope is a passion of empty forms. I flatten myself on the kitchen floor, compound eye level, and disgust is incorporated. My nerves finger my heart rate. At this angle, a pronotium halo is a bright blur on my cataract, but face is defined in its testing. Scrabble closer, abject brother, come eat with me. Sit here on my chest's infested segments, tickle my lips with your buttery tegmina, crisp wafer. You were always here, fatty as an oyster, a visible sign of invisible grace, and I am all mouth. This one is one of the first poems I've written that goes over the page, so that was very exciting, and is based on the game that you can play called GeoGuessr, where it's based on Google Maps, and you get to see the you have to guess the photo on you see a photo and you have to guess where in the world it is. And it's great. It's a great prompt if you're stuck for writing a poem. Just go on GeoGuessr and try and work out where you are. That's kind of what the poem's about. GeoGuessr Street View, or Somebody Knows What Happened Here. And there's an epigraph from Emily Hasler, a great poem, Athona. The middle of nowhere is an exact place. This is a species of travel, like Homo sapiens is a species of sedimentary rock. Sedentary, but still always moving and layered in various thicknesses. I'm game, so let's play. Drop pin. 1366 North Handy Street is intersection after intersection after intersection, a digitized convergence of palm trees glitching a daisy cutter sidewalk. This is California, not Florida. An easy mistake with federalized yellow lane markings and a weatherless sun. If this were a peanut strip, there would be a lemonade stand. I've jaywalked America when possible and survived it in my suit of white skin, a mistake I was allowed to make. The bushes are full of Mountain Dew. Drop pin. In Durban, I was told the white man does not walk, which means he is a fusion of automobile and a history of curb crawling. Like Google Earth's invisible pervert, a white man who walks has been dropped by somebody. eThekwini City Hall is an architectural copy of Belfast City Hall. Drop pin. Bilberry and a distant snowfield melts into a wash of cow parsley. The aesthetic of the E10 Fleisvien is yellow and red oxide clapperboard on Norwegian grey. Classic Scandi Noir hills drag themselves closer with each click. Cars lozenge as I skim past. Somebody knows what happened here. Coordinates of loss generated algorithmically, which is to say, programmed, baked in. Birch ghosts and chambered cairns. Grief is not diminished when overlooked or overlaid. Drop pin. This cattle crossing could be anywhere they process cattle. Enough verge clipping to prove a culture. Forestry and maize fields running for Congress in 5957 North New York 40, Argyle, New York. I play this game because it exhibits the traits of domestication, the asphalt stitched with veins of tar so there are a few more years in it. The road is as insatiable as we are, rises to meet us, lights up when touched. Drop pin. 3636 7A, Avenida Guatemala City, and you, face blurred, leaning up against a stack of Firestone tires. Autofleches and carjacks. A single line of jacaranda trees as a reminder, this ends where the trees end. Mechanic, pray for me on my predetermined via positiva. Even the ether is rooted in humming servers, desert monks who glow without ceasing. Drop pin. The road rises to meet me again and again, and when this ends, there is no score for guessing exactly where I am.